Here we go again. I mean, this is the truth show, and there's more. Oh, I'm not done yet. Oh, and there's more. Oh, I'm not done yet. I mean, this is the truth show. Oh, yes.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to the Truth Show. Hello, all my truth seekers. My name is Keisha, and welcome to the Truth Show. I know I'm starting early, but I have something to do. Just want to give you a brief rundown here. We're going to talk about Trump news, Elon Musk, Starlink, Iran, the war down there, and then some royal news, some blind items, some brain food, and then we'll have a special edition, what I'm going to add occasionally, not every live show, which is what I call a special edition true crime. It'll ease me into that whole genre of doing things. You always love me some true crime. All my streaming apps, movie streaming apps, are loaded with nothing but true crime. So we're going to get into that as well. With that said, here are your warnings.
Please note that this is all alleged. I've never met any of these people. I deeply researched all of my information. This is a trigger warning. In this video, I may be talking about or showing sensitive material about some subjects or topics that may be disturbing or upsetting or may bring forth some troubling memories, as you read in the description or title. With that said, either end the video now or brace yourself. Aside from that, enjoy.
All right, first up we have what is happening in Minnesota right now. Now, Trump has publicly threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act, which is to stop growing protests in Minneapolis after two ICE-related shootings, including the killing of Renee Nicole Good and countless others. Just hers seemed to be more viral, but there was countless others who also lost their lives, unfortunately. However, I must say this is one of the most extreme domestic powers a president can definitely use. Yes, so a lot of people are asking, why is Trump threatening the Insurrection Act? People are asking that. Why is he threatening the Insurrection Act? Okay. Where protests have exploded after two ICE shootings. Okay. Protests have literally exploded after the two ICE shootings. Okay. First was, of course, Renee Nicole Good, who was 37, was fatally shot by an ICE agent. The second was Venezuela. I can't even speak this morning. I'm so sorry about that. Well, it's afternoon now, 12. A Venezuelan man was shot in the leg during an ICE arrest attempt. Okay. Now, these incidents did trigger nationwide protests with Minneapolis as the epicenter. Okay. However, Trump claims ICE agents are under attack. He's saying, well, you know what? I don't know what you're talking about because my agents are the ones that are under attack, and my agents are the one who should be defending himself. This is what Trump is saying. He's not holding any accountability of these ICE agents running around here shooting people, act like they love video games and stuff and acting like some crazy people. No, his interpretation is that their agents, his agents, are the ones who are under attack, not the other way around. This is what your president is saying. I'm saying your president because he's showing the hell to not my goddamn president. I'm going to put that shit on out there. Okay. So he posted that professional agitators and insurrectionists, okay? Yeah, insurrectionists are attacking the ICE officers, and that he will use the Insurrection Act if Minnesota leaders don't stop the protest. This is what Trump is doing. Yes. Let me go back. This is what he's doing. Minnesota leaders say ICE is escalating violence. Government Tim Walz called the federal president campaign of organized brutality. So agree with that. Mayor Jacob Frey said the situation is not sustainable and they want ICE out of Minneapolis, they want them out of America, period. Go play somewhere. Go back to your little rooms, your little bedrooms, and play your little stupid freaking video games. Go, 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 go. You are not welcome here. All of you ain't nothing but a bunch of damn bullies anyway. So just go back to your little stupid video games and pretend to be soldiers and crazy people there. That's what we want. I'm just saying. That's not what's happening, though. We're getting something completely different. Anyway, so I know a lot of you are wondering, what is the Insurrection Act? What does it mean? Well, the Insurrection Act allows the president to deploy active duty military for domestic law enforcement, including arrests and searches. Okay. It has been used, have been used in decades. Okay. If invoked, it will put troops in Minnesota streets, like tailing streets like we're in medieval times. Allow military to perform police, functions. So they will be taken over for the police officers, even though by law, police officers can arrest fake agents. They have every right and every legal right to ask an agent for their identification, their valid warrants, and things of that nature. If they're unable to produce those identifications, a police officer who is law can legally take the ICE agents who are enforcers of a particular rule. They are not actual full-blown federal agents. They are within limitations, okay? And they do have bylaws and rules they have to follow. They have to show you the identification. They have to have a badge. They're not allowed to use force. Please know your rights. And if they're not able to produce identification or warrants, anything of the nature, call the police, and the police have every legal right to arrest them if they're not able to produce those identifications to them as well. Okay? Police officers are law. These are just enforcers of the law. Big goddamn difference. So with Trump, he's thinking about deploying that, which again allow military to perform police functions, dramatically escalating federal power, override state objections. So if that state said, I don't want these darn ICE agents all over my goddamn street, him insurrecting this Insurrection Act will override their, ruling saying, I don't want them on my streets. Again, him acting like a bully and doing something that's completely unnecessary. He is doing this as a distraction from the Epstein files, and he wanted to continuously cause chaos and war, because if he is in the middle of a war or is he in the middle of causing some kind of war, they can't impeach him. So he's going to continue doing this shit. He's trying to start a war with Iran by blowing up innocent people. And then he tried to start a war over there in Nigeria. He's going to continue doing this until the war is inflicted so he can stay in office. It's the only reason he's doing this. I say still, impeach his ass whether the war is in or not, because let's face it, as soon as he needs to go, he just needs to go. No more trying to wait until things are peaceful. It would never be peaceful as long as he in that fucking White House. So again, this is far more extreme than sending the National Guard if he insurrect the act, because you have a bunch of military guys roaming the streets with these fucking guns, and all of them may or may not be legit. They could just be men who just so happen to have on the right uniform with guns and traffickers and wannabe soldiers and living out their gang boy fantasies. So yeah, they're giving them all rights to come barging in your house, shooting up your house, and acting like some crazy psychopath. This is where we are currently at. I told you this was going to happen when he got elected. That's why I cried on live air. As you guys like, oh my gosh, you're crying. And the bag of people who was following me. But now you know why. Because this is what I saw. Because I said on air, it's going to get worse. And you didn't believe me. Hope next time you'll start listening to what I have to say instead of being hypocrites and judgmental jerks. So what's happening on the ground? Oh, by the way, I know I'm doing this a little early because I have something to do later. I was going to wait. I'm off today and I have errands to run. And I'm not feeling well either. So I just want to do this and get over it. I'll have a timestamp. You guys, matter of fact, I'm not timestamping anything. You guys just watch it when I'm done. Yeah, I get home from work, sit and have your wine and coffee, what the hell you're going to have, and sit and enjoy this live stream, okay? Or enjoy it now. It's up to you. You can put it up on your desk post and just listen to what I'm saying. You won't have to watch it, but you'll listen to me as a podcast if you don't have the time to actually watch the live show. I try to describe what I'm doing as best of my ability. Okay, so what's happening in the ground? Hit the like button, you guys. Hit the like button. Tear gas fired into crowds. They put in tear gas. This is literally back into the civil rights times. Protesters throwing rocks and fireworks. Federal vehicles damaged. There are not federal vehicles. These are regular people pretending to be ICE agents. They are not federal vehicles. Thousands of federal agents deployed. Apparently, that's what the sources say. The city is tense, chaotic, and heavily militarized. It's been a chaotic mess since you know who's been in office, and Congress is not doing anything about it as usual. Here are some videos.
Friends of the woman in this video tell me this is a 19-year-old high school student that is being taken by ICE. This happened Monday in Wilmer, and residents tell me this interaction with ICE is disturbing. A family friend of that young woman said her family was never contacted by the Department of Homeland Security after she was taken. Witnesses told me she said to the officers that she had papers. Republican State Representative Dave Baker said he supports ICE and law enforcement efforts to get criminals off the streets, but he is concerned about the lack of transparency in this particular case and wonders why ICE would take a high school student. He's asking for answers.
That is such a stupid fucking question. Because they are traffickers. They're about to run a train or traffic that poor child. That's what the hell they're trying to do. These are not ICE agents. I don't even think police officers know their rights. Did you ask for this ICE agent identification? Someone need to go on national television and give cops their protocol, because I'm starting to think they don't know their protocol. They don't even know their power. They don't even know they have the power to arrest fake ICE agents who are not doing their job. I think they feel that ICE agents are above them. No, they are enforcers. They are enforcers of this immigration law. They're not federal agents. They work for the federal, but they're not federal agents. Oh my gosh. Please learn. They can't even arrest people. They just like transporters, so to speak. That's all they are. They're not, FBI or CIA or police officers. I swear, they need to know. They need to know. So if you see an ICE agent that's not producing any identification, call the cops. And if you got to school the goddamn cop on what this cop need to do that, because they act special sometimes. I'm telling you. Go ahead and tell them, like, look now, since you don't know what you're supposed to do, let me just tell you what you're supposed to do. Because apparently you don't know what you're supposed to do. And a lot of them probably don't know what the hell they're supposed to do. So if you have to break it down to them and give them some kind of educated something, just give it to them. Hello, 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 hello. Were you guys able to hear that last video insert or no? So if you see an ICE agent that's not producing the identification, call the cops. And if you got a school that got their problem with this cop, need to do that because they act special sometimes. Don't sound like look now. Since you don't know, I'm just trying to recap and figure out how far did I get here. Since y'all not commenting. I'm going to play the last video again because I don't know if you guys heard it or not.
ICE agents are getting their $50,000 bonus, but they didn't read the fine print because there is no honor amongst thieves. So in the contract for the ICE agents' $50,000 sign-on bonus, they have to sign on to be there for 5 years. They get $10,000 for every year of service, which is great. They got $10,000 when they first signed up. They'll get the next $10,000 in their second year. Here's where the problems come in. They have to fulfill their contract. If they leave early, they have to pay back the bonus. So if they leave and try to get out of ICE before that 5 years is up, they have to pay back that $10,000. If they wait and make it to 2 years, they have to pay back the $20,000 and so on and so on. So these ICE agents who are now discovering that the job they thought was going to be so much fun, wrangling up and attacking people they feel like shouldn't be here, and now they're being hated at, yelled at, whistled at, screamed at, haunted at constantly, because that does wear on the psyche. They now can't leave, or they're going to owe the $10,000 they just got back. And if they're there for 2 years, they'll owe 20 and so on. So they have to finish their 5-year contract before they leave. Amazing what happens when you get employment with a con man. Have a great night.
Foolish, foolish people. That is hilarious. They literally signed a 5-year contract for what? What, $100,000? For a job that seriously may not even be around for that long? I'm going to be honest with you. Wow, wow, wow. Stupid ass people. Anyway, moving right along here. So what the question remains. What actually happened in Ukraine? Well, I'm sorry, I forgot I even had this clip. This particular clip here, because they one of the abandoned ICE vehicles, someone actually went in and looked at the paperwork. I told you guys they are printing fake contracts from online. They're not even real contracts, they're fake contracts. These ICE agents are fake. And again, if they're not able to produce the identification, please call the police, and you have to school a police officer and say, look, by law, they have to produce identification and warrants. They have not done so. Can you please make this ICE agent do that? You do have a legal right to do that. You are the law. They are enforcers of immigration, just officers for that. They're not above anyone else. They just enforcers, military agents. Not military agent, is enforcers on trying to do that. Unless Trump deployed the Insurrection Act, they give them some kind of leeway. Other than that, just walking puppets. So someone went into the vehicle, and this is what they found. The documentations they be having, which someone print off the internet, they're not even real. They're fake. They're getting their costumes from online or from some military store or something like that, and they printing out fake freaking contracts.
Fake ass fucking papers that they carry around. They're not too decent. No, none of them are good.
They're fake.
In Spanish.
Told you. I'm drinking coffee.
Holy shit. He's
We got the paperwork. We got the ice. I ain't breaking anything. I just came for the scene.
Unbelievable. Told you. Fake ICE agents. Told you. Okay, this is what I started talking about, but I gotta have the video. Anyway, so what actually happened in Ukraine? Well, Ukraine carried out one of the deepest, most damaging drone attacks inside Russia since war begun. destroying more than 40 Russian military aircrafts, according to Ukrainian officials. This wasn't a small strike. It was a massive, long-planned operation, apparently. Okay, here are the key details of everything, okay? Over 40 Russian warplanes destroyed Ukraine. Ukraine says 41 bombers were hit across multiple Russian airfields. These included 295 and 222 long-range bombers, the same planes Russia uses to fire missiles at Ukraine. And then the drones were smuggled into Russia. Here's the wild part. The drones were transported inside containers on trucks deep into Russian territory. They were launched from inside Russia, not from Ukraine. So they snuck into Russia and then just started unloading some bombs and stuff. This is crazy. Yeah, this means Ukraine infiltrated Russian territory with equipment and personally, and seriously, and personally took over. With equipment and personnel for over a year, and they had no idea. Ukrainian officials says the mission took 18 months to prepare. It was personally supervised by President Zelensky. The strike hit airfields up to 4,000 kilometers inside Russia. One of the main targets was the Balaya Air Base in Irkutsk, over 4,000 kilometers, 2,500 miles from Ukraine. Now, this is the deepest Ukrainian strike of the entire freaking war that they've been having for the last 4 years, but the conflict been going on for 11 years. Russia confirmed the attacks. They said Russia Defense Ministry admitted drones hit 5 airfields across the country. They said aircraft were damaged and fires broke out. Now, Russia responded with its largest drone attack ever, too. Russia launched 472 drones at Ukraine in retaliation, the biggest drone barrage since the war began 4 years ago. They also fired 7 missiles. A Russian strike killed Ukrainian soldiers. At least 12 Ukrainian service members were unfortunately killed and 60 injured in a missile strike on a training unit. Now, this all happened right before peace talks. Ukraine and Russia were scheduled to meet in Istanbul the next day for direct talks. Zelensky said Ukraine would still attend. Now, I don't know who ordered these strikes. There's been a conflict and a mystery coming in because people are saying, did he order these strikes before the peace talks, or was this some kind of warning if the peace is not initiated, this will happen? We just go unload everything we have and just blow up your whole freaking town. Just blow up the whole damn land. Just blow up every goddamn thing. Everybody in it. In this goddamn war. I don't know if that was what this warning was, or did he have anything to do with these drone strikes? Did Trump secretly, butt into this war like he unload unprecedented and unapproved bombs in Iran? You know what? Take a look at this.
Chaos has erupted on the Eastern Front as Ukrainian forces execute a masterclass in urban warfare, systematically hunting down and liquidating the very eyes of the Russian war machine in a catastrophic blow to Putin's offensive capabilities. The invaders thought they could swarm the skies, but instead they walked straight into a kill zone that has left their command structure blinded and their assault groups shattered in the rubble of Donetsk. We are talking about absolute carnage in the Pokrovsk-Mirnograd agglomeration, where the hunters have undoubtedly become the hunted, and the footage coming out of this sector paints a picture of utter devastation for the occupying forces. But before we reveal the shocking details of the massive rocket strike that decimated an entire Russian staging area just hours ago, you need to understand the sheer scale of this defeat. If you stand with Ukraine and want to see the truth of this war reach the world, hit that subscribe button right now. Smash the like button to trigger the algorithm and help us spread the word to fellow supporters of freedom, because the mainstream media is sleeping on the intensity of these battles. We are witnessing a pivotal moment in the defense of the East, and you do not want to miss what happens next as the logistical corridors tighten and the urban combat reaches a fever pitch. On Tuesday, January 13th, 2026, the Sahid Operational Command dropped a bombshell report confirming that Ukrainian defenders have turned the streets of Pokrovsk and Mirnograd into a graveyard for elite Russian units. The most jaw-dropping statistic to emerge from this bloodbath is the specific targeting of high-value enemy assets. In a single 24-hour period, Ukrainian forces didn't just repel attacks, they surgically neutralized 39 Russian UAV crews. Let that sink in. 39 separate drone operating teams, the technological backbone of modern Russian artillery and reconnaissance, were wiped off the map in one day. This is an unprecedented decapitation of their tactical surveillance capabilities, leaving their assault infantry blind, deaf, and stumbling into well-prepared kill boxes without air support or guidance. The intensity of the fighting is off the charts, with this Sahid group of troops repelling a staggering 57 separate assaults over the last day alone. The Russian command is throwing wave after wave of meat assaults into the meat grinder, desperate to crack the Ukrainian lines, but they are hitting a wall of steel. In the Pokrovsk direction specifically, 26 of these desperate assault attempts were crushed near settlements like Zapovidne, Rodinsky, Kotline, Udachne, Molodetsky, Filia, and Kucherev Yar. The defenders are not just holding the line, they are inflicting severe, irreversible damage on the enemy's manpower. Preliminary data indicates that 100 Russian personnel were neutralized in this specific direction yesterday, with 66 of them confirmed as irrecoverable losses, dead on the battlefield, never to return home. Inside Pokrovsk itself, the situation is evolving into a brutal, close-quarters nightmare for the invaders. Search and assault operations are currently underway to root out enemy infiltrators from the urban sprawl, block by block, room by room. Ukrainian forces are firmly holding the northern part of the city, turning the ruins into a fortress that the Russians cannot penetrate. Meanwhile, in Mirnograd, the enemy is being systematically eliminated on the very outskirts, unable to gain a foothold as Ukrainian defenders rain fire down on their exposed positions. The command has reinforced the city's defense with additional heavy reserves to ensure that every step the Russians take costs them dearly in blood and equipment. Logistics in this hellscape are complicated, but the Ukrainian command is taking aggressive measures to expand logistical corridors to Mirnograd, ensuring that ammunition and supplies continue to flow to the front lines, despite the enemy's attempts to cut them off. Grigory Shapoval, the spokesperson for the Sahid Operational Command, made it crystal clear. Measures are being taken to strengthen capabilities, and the destruction of the enemy is proceeding according to plan. The total tally for the Sahid group's area of responsibility is shocking, with Russian forces losing 365 personnel in a single day of fighting. Alongside the human toll, the equipment losses are mounting rapidly, with 45 drones, 12 vehicles, and 10 units of specialized heavy equipment reduced to scrap metal in the burning streets. But the most explosive development occurred when Ukrainian intelligence intercepted data revealing a massive concentration of Russian forces preparing for a fresh assault. They didn't wait for the attack to start. Acting on real-time intelligence, Ukrainian troops unleashed a devastating barrage from Grad multiple rocket launchers, saturating the area where the Russian units were assembling. The result was total annihilation. The strike disrupted their preparations before they could even step off the line of departure, destroying the area and scattering the remnants of their assault force. This is the definition of proactive defense, striking the enemy before they can strike you, and doing it with overwhelming firepower. As of 4 p.m. Kyiv time on January 13th, 72 combat engagements had already raged across the front, but the Pokrovsk direction remains the absolute hottest sector of the war. Occupiers assaulted Ukrainian defensive positions 28 times in this area alone, driven by a frantic desperation to show progress, only to be met with precise artillery and small arms fire, The strategy is working. Isolate the infantry by blinding their drones, disrupt their staging areas with rocket artillery, and then mop up the survivors in the urban maze. The elimination of those 39 drone crews is the game changer here, crippling the Russian ability to coordinate complex attacks and forcing them to revert to primitive, suicidal mass charges that are being mown down by dug-in defenders. We are watching the utter dismantling of a modern assault force in real time. This Kid Command is prioritizing the destruction of these specialist operators because they know it bleeds the Russian army of its technical edge. Every drone crew destroyed is a battalion saved from artillery fire. Every staging area wiped out by grads is a defensive line that holds for another day. The combat operations continue without pause, and as the sun sets over the smoking ruins of the Donetsk region, the Ukrainian military is standing tall, holding the north of Pokrovsk and sending a clear message to the Kremlin. Your drones are down, your troops are exposed, and there is nowhere left to hide. You've been listening to J&J's Military Report, where we analyze the latest in military strategy, global defense, and advanced weaponry. We'll catch you next time.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Here are the videos. Oh, wow. Oh, gosh. I couldn't stand any of those goddamn towns at this moment because this is getting ridiculous. This war is so stupid. Instead of, the God in the Bible or whoever God that you're praying to, instead of him inflicting the violence, how about he just annihilate the violence by just causing a severe, I don't know, tsunami or earthquake or something, or whatever he do, I don't know. Or I guess he's going to sit back and just let him fight it all out, Who's ever alive at the end of this long-standing, goddamn, useless, stupid fucking war between two men who can't come to a goddamn agreement will be the winner, I guess. Anyway. All right, so here we go. There has been an internet blackout in Iran. It's pretty much sums it up. It seems Iran is experiencing a major internet blackout, but videos and images are still getting out because people are secretly using this Starlink terminals and other satellite tools. According to the article, Starlink access in Iran is free, but extremely dangerous to use because the U.S. government is actively hunting for devices. So the question is Elon Musk helping the U.S. government to mess up the network in Iran? I mean, nothing unusual. He's known to be sneaky and deviant. So but they're saying there's no evidence in reporting that this is connected to Trump or U.S. politics, and if it was, they still deny it. So here's what this article that I read said. It says there's an internet blackout in Iran. They don't know how videos are getting out. Here's what it also says. It says Iran is a severe internet blackout. The government has restricted or shut down major parts of the internet because of this. This is happening during the mass protest and political unrest. Because remember, Trump, he dropped bombs in Iran, even though he has no reason to drop bombs in Iran. He just did it so he can start a war, so he can remain president or inflict or ignite the not the military, but the where you get the drift. I don't need to keep repeating my damn self. Anyway, so despite the blackout, videos were still reaching the outside world. But here's the thing. People are using Starlink satellite terminals, VPNs, proxy networks, and encrypted messaging apps to do that. Starlink is free in Iran, but extremely risky, which means it has been infiltrated and flooded with cyber attacks ever since it landed in Iran. Musk is not a geek. He don't know anything about coding or trying to remove viruses or anything of the nature. He's just a broker and a front man. That's all he is, just a fast talking front man. Here are the videos.
So since 8 p.m. local time on Thursday, Iran's internet has been shut down. That's 87 million people disconnected from each other and the rest of the world. The third time the regime has pulled the plug. They also did it after protests in 2019 and 2022. But it's a selective blackout because Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has been prolific on X, for example, for the benefit of a foreign audience mind, since Iranians clearly can't see these posts. Now, as in 2022, Iranians found a way around the shutdown, turning to Elon Musk's SpaceX Starlink network. That's thousands of satellites in low orbit providing internet services to remote areas. And to access it, you need a user terminal. But the Iranian authorities have made it illegal to connect to Starlink. So using these devices is highly dangerous in a regime which punishes dissent with death. And yet, Iranian officials have said they believe there are tens of thousands of Starlink terminals across Iran. The majority of information protesters are getting out of Iran since Thursday night is being transmitted via Starlink, it's thought. But there are reports the regime has even managed to disrupt Starlink, causing severe connection issues for users in Iran. Now, that's something the Russian military has long been involved with in Ukraine, for example, where it's in something of a technological race with Starlink for the upper hand, and where it's known to deploy trucks that use radio noise to disrupt satellite signals. Now, President Trump weighed in on Iran's blackout yesterday, saying he plans to speak to Elon Musk about restoring internet access in Iran.
Why would he speak to... I can't deal with this stupid idiot.
In the middle of a total blackout, a hidden network is giving millions of Iranians a lifeline, and the regime will stop at nothing to destroy it.
This is AI.
Across Iran, streets are filled with anger as citizens march and chant for change while their digital world goes dark. Phone lines fail, text messages vanish, and the internet is almost completely cut off.
Thanks to him. It's like he forgets that he does some. Dude, you dropped the bombs in their time. No wonder they're protesting. He forgets that he does stuff. Something wrong with this man. So here's the website there. Let me go back. Okay, according to the article, Starlink access is free for Iranians. Not surprising because, Elon Musk, he's a criminal anyway. Remember, he rigged the election. But the Iranian government is tracking and confiscating Starlink terminals because they know what Elon Musk is up to. They need to be using their resources to expose the hacking of our election. How about use it for something like that? You do that, flood our media and everything else with the proof that the election was rigged, and that will force the Congress to do something about it, and I will get rid of Trump. And you got to worry about all these stupid fucking wars, okay? Just saying. Everyone just go back to where it was before he became into office. Anyway, so this is why Iranian government is tracking and confiscating all Starlink terminals. I don't blame them. Using one can put people in danger, apparently, which is true. The blackout is definitely intentional. The government is trying to stop the protest videos from spreading, control the narrative, but it's kind of hard to do that when you got Trump still dropping bombs. Anyway, so here's what is going on in terms of the government. The government stopped protest video from spreading, control the narrative, and they want to limit the communication between activists. Now, the big question, is Elon Musk helping Trump? Well, the article is clearly not going to say that, but here's what's factual. Starlink is active in Iran, and it is free, shocking. It is helping protesters communicate. It is dangerous for them to use, and the Iranian government is trying to shut it down. Elon Musk had helped the government in the past, but do note there's no reporting in the article that connects this to the U.S. politics or Trump, but we all know better, don't we? However, Starlink matters in Iran. Starlink allows people to bypass government control internet because it uses satellites which are grounded satellites. They're not floating in space, but people think that. No local infrastructure. This make it harder for governments to block. Apparently it's not. Easier for protests to communicate. A lifeline during blackouts, which is what it's proven to be. But however, it's fishy that Elon Musk would even offer free internet for this place anyway. That would be suspicious as hell right there, considering he rigged the election. But also easy to detect if someone is physically holding a terminal illegally in many authoritarian countries. A target for security forces. See how weak the system could be? But he gave it to them for free. He had an agenda to give them this access for free. It wasn't like, oh, I'm a good Samaritan. I love you guys. You're my people. It's because he had an agenda. To sum it up, Iran is experiencing one of its most severe internet blackouts ever as the government tries to crush nationwide anti-government protests, but a small number of people are still getting videos and images by secretly using Starlink satellite internet. Starlink, which SpaceX made available in Iran in 2022, has become a crucial lifeline because its signal comes from the sky and can't be shut down like normal internet. Though using it illegal and dangerous could be a problem. Activists say Starlink access helped expose killings during the crackdown, with more than 2,600 deaths reported by human rights groups. Despite Iran's attempts to jam the signal or criminalize devices, tens of thousands of smuggled Starlink receivers are believed to be operating in the country, allowing protesters to bypass the blackout and pretty much to stay connected with the outside world. That's what they're saying, Starlink. So to sum it up, Starlink has its pros and cons. Let me just sum that up. It has its pros and cons on what it's good for. Hi, Andrew. How you doing? That's what's going on here. Now here's world news. Okay, it seems that Prince Harry, they're still going through this whole security malarkey. Okay, here's the rundown with this, and I'm gonna go through this real quickly. Prince Harry reunion. Oh, boy. Apparently, Prince Harry reunion unlikely. Royal family doesn't trust him. Experts say King Charles fears private conversations leaked to the press. Okay, he's probably leaked several things about his son already, and he's probably afraid for the same goddamn thing, for stuff to get leaked, and you guys twisting it for your own personal agenda. So this goes both ways. And it's hurt that, once again, King Charles is going to be unavailable when Prince Harry come to his hometown. My thought is guilt. Not because of what he done, because let's be realistic here. Okay? They did more dirt to Harry and Meghan than Harry and Meghan did to them. All they did is expose what they had done. Tomorrow they may start talking. No, how about they are worried about you fuckers start talking, or King Charles is worried about that if Prince Harry see him and see that this man is not sick and is not suffering from some long severe cancer, that his secret will be exposed, and he's afraid that Harry's going to go ahead and blow the whistle and say my father is faking his cancer diagnosis. That's why he's ducking and dodging him and shit. But hey, it is what it is. Because I don't think he or Kate have cancer or had cancer. I think they both are liars. I'm going to go ahead and put it on out there. So this is why Charles is expected to be in Scotland during Harry's upcoming UK visit. Oh, well. And then we have Andrew and Fergie reportedly planning to sell royal valuables. Palace is on alert, of course, over fears that it may auction items linked to Queen Elizabeth. Auction. Please. They said this could cause a fallout of truth. I say, who cares? Auction. What do you say? I really think all of them is scared of the husband who runs that house. That's who they're scared of because they know not to play with him. Oh, yeah, definitely. All right, and celebrity gossip here. In the blind item, in the first blind item, we're talking about, what does it say? It seems that, this is by Hailey and Justin Bieber, the A-list celebrity seems super upset about reposting a video. If she didn't do it, she probably did. Then fine. But now, with threatened legal action over an opinion, She just created a mess for herself. She thinks way more people care about her than they actually do, which is true. Like, no one cares. If she was just ignored it, this story would have faded away and we move on to the next person. These celebrities be thinking we really care about them like that. Like, we don't care. We don't care. We don't give a damn. We don't give a damn. Please don't put yourself on an unnecessary pedestal that's not even there. Jeez. Interesting. Okay, let me just move on here. Okay, so here's some video because apparently her issuing I think it's a cease, something like that. The documentation for the woman who pointed out that Hailey Bieber may be getting, abused or bullied or whatever the case you want to be with disturbed Justin Bieber. She issued a cease and desist, whatever you want to call that stupid documentation against the lady who brought that to acknowledgement. She wasn't the only person who did that, but apparently she went viral and Hailey Bieber noticed this, so she issued a gag order, so to speak, to make sure this young lady never say anything again. But then we have SZA who entered the conversation. I'm not sure what SZA said. You and I are going to be watching this video fresh together.
Not Hailey Bieber trying to silence the creator of the video that Hailey supposedly did not repost.
I received a cease and desist letter from attorneys representing Hailey Bieber in an attempt to intimidate me and silence me. Of course, that's in my opinion, which I am legally allowed to have.
I do not think this was the best move on Hailey's part. To post a story acting unbothered, but now trying to sue Julie is a plot twist. A few days ago, I posted this video about the video that shows Hailey Bieber reposted, talking about the psychology behind their relationship.
Most long-term relationships that we romanticize and congratulate only work because the woman is a tolerant codependent. And when I say tolerant, I mean she tolerates mediocrity, abuse, doing the majority of domestic and emotional labor in exchange for being in a relationship.
Funny enough, the only reason I learned about this video that Hailey reposted was because of Hailey's story, where she said, "Hey, I know you guys who live on the internet are really bored, but I did not repost any video speaking on my relationship." Here's the thing, I feel like you don't even know what video anyone's talking about. She obviously knows what video. And in another video, I had shown you guys that when I go to look, I do not see that Hailey reposted it. But I guess if you were outside of the US, you can see it. For some others, like myself, guys, I don't see that Hailey Bieber reposted this. Then I search up the BDR, it's not there at all. But even in the comments, guys, some people see it, some people don't. My theory is that I do think Hailey saw the video, was watching the video, accidentally reposted it. But I guess there's some restrictions on some videos. This comment, people from the US cannot see the repost because of regions restrictions. Hailey must have done it on accident and she cannot see it now. It's because it's not actually Julie's video. The account BDR stole Julie's video. Since Hailey's attorneys sent Julie a cease and desist, they probably also sent this to the BDR account. So the BDR account has stolen a lot of Julie's videos. And I think they just want both of the videos gone. Because here's the thing, Julie can take down her video, but Julie's video is the one that is not as viral. BDR account is the one with the more viral video. It's the same video, different backgrounds. It's Julie saying the same thing. But I do find it kind of crazy to go on your stories and put hey, you guys that live on the internet are bored, but now you're trying to silence someone's opinion, psychological analysis of celebrity relationships. Julie does this. She gives you the psychology behind things, and she gives her opinion.
What I shared were my opinions. It was a psychological and sociological thought piece on why some relationships last. And being offended by the opinions that I have does not entitle you to erase people's voices.
Wow. There must have been some truth behind that video then.
Well, it looks like SZA has entered the whole Hailey Bieber cease and desist repost video drama. SZA went on to the girl's video, Julie Dice, I believe you say her name. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And she wrote, "Hi, are you a licensed therapist or psychologist? You speak with such certainty and I'd like to know. Peace." Julie replied with, "I have both my bachelor's and master's degree in psychology. I've worked as a behavior specialist and researcher. Now I'm a full-time content creator and do take on clients for coaching and mentorship, but not as a therapist." And then SZA responded, "Thank you so much. My sister also has a master's in psychology and is a licensed therapist. I respect study and inquiry posed as just that. However, publicly diagnosing people you have absolutely no contact with and presenting that information as fact under the premise of education may be a bit dangerous. for all parties, including those who wish to educate. Just an opinion, all respect to you. And then Julie posted this. I'll get out of the way. I'm not going to be the whole thing, but she basically said, leave SZA out of this. And then she
got way too much time in their hands.
Allegedly, her and SZA had via DM. This is getting bigger and bigger by the day. I don't know what to think about this right now. Put your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it.
I'm sick of this talk about it. Don't anyone have their own particular phrases? I saw you got a bunch of followers. One person say, let's talk about it. Oh, let's talk about it. One person have those stupid furry mics. Everybody got to have fur mics. We have a bunch of followers and sheep online. No one is an individual. Well, I won't be getting that stupid microphone, and I won't be saying that stupid fucking phrase, primarily because everybody else is doing it. I'm an individual. I'm not a follower. I set trends. I don't follow them. And that's not being conceited, just what I am. I remember when I was wearing those jean jackets. Anybody else started wearing them stupid fucking jackets. Not saying they follow my trend, because I don't know how many people are viewing my video. No one knows. All I know it's hard for people to comment. They probably think I'm blocking comments or something. I'm not blocking comments. So if you can't comment, it has nothing to do with me. I don't have anything to do with that. Whoever controlling my platform behind the scenes is doing it, and I didn't hire them, and I don't know who they are. Just saying. So if you can't comment, it has nothing to do with me. I don't know how Indra is able to do it. She must have an older network or something. Indra, how are you able to comment so much, girl? You must have an older network. I'm glad, though, but I'm just suspicious. Anyway, moving right along here. So in other blind item, it say this about reality star Dorit Kemsley. A Metro PCS phone. What is a Metro PCS phone? What is a Metro PCS phone? I have to look that up. Hold on, let me look that up because I don't know what that is. She says she has a Metro PCS phone. Let's see what the hell that is. Hold on, wait a minute. Okay, let's see here. Is that a burner phone? Oh, okay. You have a burner phone. So how does this burner phone look? I'm just curious. This is completely off the subject. Let me just show what I'm looking at right now. Let's see if they allow me to do it. There we go. Okay, this is what I'm looking at. So does it look like, oh, okay. Does it look like this? She said look like a regular phone. You crazy girl. Okay. She said looks like a regular phone. Okay. So that's why you're able to do it. You're not really with a cellular company. You have a burner phone where you probably pay through that. What is that thing called again? T-Mobile, T-Smiley. I don't remember what it is. Anyway, you probably pay through that or whatever. Oh, okay. So you have an older phone. Oh, okay. So, wow. That's why you're able to get through because you're on an older network. Well, that explains so much. And they're not able to block you because you're on an untraceable phone. You're on a track phone. Interesting. Interesting. See, there is a missing piece to the puzzle. That's why you're able to get that is crazy. So the criminals use track phones because they're untraceable. And that's probably they're able to block you. That is so okay. I'm getting upset. Let me get back to this show, you guys. Sorry about that. Unbelievable. Well, I'm glad you are, sweetie. It's just fucked up, but I'm glad you are. All right, so I don't watch reality TV, but I'm gonna go ahead and just, talk about this, even though I don't, watch reality TV. In another blind item, it says this about reality star Dorit Kemsley. She's labeled the cocaine queen. What do you do if you are a reality star and have a drug problem? What do you do if you are a reality star and don't have any income other than from the show and a few appearances and you need to pay for your drug habit? What do you do when your drug dealer starts demanding sex from you in exchange for drugs? What do you do when the guy you thought was your friend threatens to report you CPS if you don't start sleeping with him? What do you do when you thought you had hidden the using from your co-stars and you had but decided to confide in one of them and now they are holding over your head? What do you do? This housewife right here is in deep shit. She has a major drug problem. She got plenty of people trying to blackmail her. Go to rehab and tell all them people to kiss your ass. And then work out some deal with the network for them to film you going to rehab and sell it as some kind of inspiration for people on drugs. You make money, the network make money, everything is copacetic, boom, bam, psh, cash register. Do I have that freaking sound thingamajigger? Let me see if I have the cash register. Nope, unfortunately. Anyway, but just saying, that is a great idea. Seriously, a brilliant idea. I'm surprised I came up with that. I came up with that on the spot. Look at me. I'm just so creative. I should be a producer. I feel like a broken record, I swear. Anyway, so brain food. All right. And this is my favorite subject. You guys know that. Because there's been debates. Oh, my climate is warm. How did this follow with mine? Because we don't get winter here. So how do we start New Year's in spring when we don't get winter? I don't think this is true. That's what they be saying, seriously. Oh, yeah, they're definitely scared of their husband. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So everybody gets to see your comment, huh? Oh, what happened to your comment? Oh, well. Did you delete it? Oh, well. Sorry about that. I don't know if I delete or delete. I have no idea. Anyway, so here we go. Listen to this video, and then I'll get into deep on how New Year's actually start in spring for everywhere, not just states with 4 seasons or winter seasons, because I know it's confusing. I'm going to break it down. How does New Year's start everywhere else, not just with states or continents or countries that have 4 seasons? I'm going to break it down so you guys can really understand it, because I'm tired of people asking me that question.
People think spring only matters in states with 4 seasons, but the whole northern hemisphere shifts together. When cold states get winter, warm states get cooler. Rainy weather, that's their version of winter.
Yep.
And when the 4 season states hit spring, the warmer states enter their rainy rebirth cycle. Different climates, same earth cycle. Across history, New Year began whenever life restarted. Spring in some places, rainy season in others.
See? Let me break it down for many of you who didn't get that. So people think spring only matters in places with 4 seasons, but that's not true. Across Africa, Asia, the Middle East, and indigenous cultures, the New Year was tied to the return of life, not the weather. Even in places with only rainy and dry seasons, spring symbolizes rebirth, planting, and the return of the sun. Of course, we know. January 1st is a political date. Spring is the cosmic New Year. However, why April 1st? Spring was originally New Year, even in places without 4 seasons. I'm going to break it down so you guys can understand. Most people think spring equal New Year only makes sense in places with 4 seasons. But historically, spiritually, and culturally, spring was the New Year across the ancient world, even in regions with only 2 seasons or tropical climates with no winter at all. Why? Because New Year wasn't originally about weather. It was about cycles of life, agriculture, astronomy, and symbolism. Let me just break it down to you a little bit more thoroughly so you can understand what I'm saying. Okay, many ancient cultures didn't have 4 seasons, but still celebrated it spring as New Year. Africa, West, East, and North. Large parts of Africa, rainy season, dry season. No winter, no snow. Okay? No spring in the European sense. If you didn't hear the video, you understand. Okay. But it still marked the return of rains, the sprouting of crops, and the rebirth of the land as the New Year cycle. For example, ancient Egypt celebrated Wapet and Ripet, the opening of the year tied to the Nile flood, not winter. Yeah. So the flooding or water returning was their new year. That's considered winter. Oh, you get your Ethiopia New Year, which is it's called Iniku Tatash. Assuming that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if I butchered Ethiopia. Is in September, tied to the end of the rainy season. Yoruba calendars mark the year of agriculture cycles, not seasons. So just to give you a clear insight here.
Many ancient peoples had no concept of 4 seasons, yet when the world turned green again, they called it a new year. Along the Nile, in Persia, in China, in the Maya lowlands, springs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't worry, it continues. So let me just make sure you understand what I'm saying. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay. So the ancient world followed the solar cycle, especially the spring equinox. On the equinox, day and night are equal. Light begins to dominate darkness. The sun returns in symbolic terms. This is why Babylonians, Persians, Egyptians, Greeks, Romans all celebrated the new year around March/April. Even if the climate didn't change dramatically, the sun's position did. And that was the real clock. Okay. So they follow the solar cycle. That's what they follow. Let me just break it down a little bit more because I feel like I'm losing people here.
For the ancients, a new year wasn't marked by cold winds or fallen leaves. It arrived with the sun. When daylight and For the ancients, a new year wasn't marked by cold winds or fallen leaves. It arrived with the sun. When daylight and darkness balanced at the spring equinox.
There we go. Mm-hmm. Yes. Let me get a little deeper. Even in tropical regions, plants sprout, animals give birth, rivers swell, food becomes abundant again. Humans notice these patterns long before calendar exists. So spring wasn't about temperature, it was about the renewal of life. But people are like, why April 1st though? Why April 1st?
Tropics, even seasons of endless green have their awakening. Tender shoots break the soil. New life stirs in the grass. Rivers rise and
Yes. And yes, I did make a video for pretty much everything I said. So why April 1st is used to be the New Year's in the New Year's Day for Europe and pretty much everywhere. Before the Gregorian calendar, New Year's was April 1st. Okay. So here's what I'm saying. Many European countries celebrated New Year on April 1st. This was tied to the spring equinox and the return of life. When the calendar changed to January 1st, people still celebrated in April, but they were mocked and they were called April Fools, hence April Fool's Day. Now, spiritually, spring is the true new year. Across culture, spring is rebirth. Spring equals resurrection. Spring equals planting. Spring equals new cycle. Spring equals the return of the sun. January 1st is a political date. Spring is a cosmic date. Even in places with 4 seasons, people still recognize it. The return of rains, the return of fertility, the return of abundance as the start of the year, which means when it's winter in the cold parts of the world or states or whatever, it's rainy and cold in the warmer parts of the world or country or whatever. So when I don't know, Chicago, Minnesota, Wisconsin, all those fucking places, they get winter, and California, Texas, and all them other hot climates or whatever, California, when we're getting our sun and shine and all that's, well, when we get in our winter, I'm sorry. I'm getting confused now. Sorry about that. It's been a long freaking day thus far, and it's still early for me. When California is getting their sun, I'm gonna speak up in the third party so I can keep myself out of it. That's what's making me confused. When California is getting spring and a lot of cold air, places like Chicago, Wisconsin is having spring. So rainy and cold season in California is considered winter. I don't think I said that right. Okay, yeah, I didn't say that right at all. I'm sorry. I'm getting confused here. I'm not getting confused. I'm just getting really tired for some reason. Okay, so winter, when it's winter in four season states, it's their winter in the hot climate states is heavy rain and cold air. That's their version of winter. When it's spring in the colder of four season states, their spring or their new year is when it's not as raining as much and the climate is a bit warm and trees start sprouting and the flowers start blooming and things of that nature. That's their version of spring. So their winter is when it's cold all the time and the weather is cold and it's raining all the time. That's the hot climate parts of the country world. That's their version of winter. Okay? Not spring, but their version of winter. The Gregorian calendar called it spring, but that's not really what it is. Which generally happens around April. You know what I'm saying? In terms of the new year. So our new year is when it's cold and rainy, you know, which is generally around April, you know what I'm saying? And then you have places like Chicago, Wisconsin, and places like that when it's snowing outside and things, you know. Here we just have it rain and it's cold and it stays in the low 60s and it stays in the 60s. You very seldom get 70. You get low 60s all the fucking time. That's our version of winter. So that's what that is. If people want to know, how does New Year begin? So when it's just hot or not hot, when it's spring in the four seasons parts of the country or the world or whatever, yes. When it's winter up there, it's winter. When it's hot, not when it's winter. When it's rainy and cold in the hot part of the countries or states or world or whatever. Okay, that's the version there. I'll break it down a little bit, you know, thoroughly. Okay. But let's go deeper because I think many of you are still confused. I'm gonna break it down a little bit thoroughly because I don't think I broke it down thoroughly enough. Okay, so here's the deal. Okay, the whole northern hemisphere shifts together, even if the weather looks different. So winter in New York, okay, it's also winter in Florida, Texas, Arizona, California, which means, but winter doesn't look the same everywhere. In cold states, snow, like in the colder states, it's snow, ice, freezing temperatures, 15, 16, 20 inches of fucking snow, all that stuff, right? In warmer states, it's cooler temperatures and it's raining all the time. Cloud storms, there's always mud flood. It's just not summer. That's their version of winter, okay? But the season is the same. It's just nature responds to it differently, okay? Just want to make sure I break that down. So warm states don't get snow, but they do express winter energy, which means, pay attention to what I'm saying, okay? Are you guys still following me here? I hope you still follow me here. You guys can still hear me, correct? Okay, cool. Just want to make sure you guys can still hear me. Well, I know you're following me, but there's plenty of other people who are following me and they haven't said jack diddly. So again, I don't know who's watching. And if they can't comment, they're definitely not commenting. And again, you know, maybe they're watching me in some live stream in some boring part of the goddamn country. Who knows? Anyway. But let me just work. Just give me a second here, you guys. I'm trying to do something right quick. Just a second. Alrighty. Where was I? Okay, here we go. All right, I'm back again. Sorry about that. Okay, yes, again, let me just reiterate what I was saying. Sorry about that. Okay, so that means the codes in the cold state, snow ice equals in the cold state, snow ice, freezing temperatures. In the warm states, colder temperature, rain, clouds, and storms. But the season is the same. They're all just responding, in the same weather effects, but just different effects around the earth. You know what I'm saying? So warm states don't get snow, but they express winter energy. This is the part that most people don't realize. Warm states don't have the temperature drop needed for snow. So instead, it rains, it storms, it's cloudy days and cooler nights and windy conditions all the time, more so than you have hot, weather. That's their version of winter. So when you say when it's winter in the 4 states, the sunny states get colder and, and it's not good. So they're experiencing the same season, just in a different form. When the 4 season states hit spring, the warm states hit their rebirth cycle too. So they still hit the spring, still start the same for all of these places. It's just different. Okay. This is why you notice when it's spring in the 4 season states, it's raining in the states without 4 seasons because they started in spring too. Okay. Yes, because spring is moisture plus growth, no matter where you are. And I'm talking about beautiful spring, not the windy, coldy stuff that they had when the colder parts of, the country or the world was getting. You know what I'm saying? So even though the warm climates was getting a cold winter, their winter is cold, windy, and all kinds of shit, so that's why they weren't able to grow anything, because the weather was so fickle and intermittent, up and down. It was too cold. It was too windy. Nothing was growing. And it was having mud floods and tornado warnings. Nothing is growing. But when it's actual spring in the colder parts of the world and they are getting just normal winter weather, but the sun do shine on some days, that is spring. That's when the crops and things start growing. That is spring. And that generally happens around April or the last week of March. Different climates, same cycle. So let me just say it again. In cold states, snow melts, rain returns, plants sprout. In warm states, rainy season begins, plants bloom, humidity rises. Different climates, same cycle. Okay. Now, the deeper truth is all cultures mark the new year even when life restarted. Let me say that again. All cultures mark New Year when life restarts. So whether that has spring, rainy season, flood season, planting season, it don't matter what the weather looked like. What mattered was the return of life. So just to sum it up, yes, rainy season act like spring in warm climates. No, it's not literally the same season, but yes, they serve the same symbolic and agriculture purpose. To sum it up, even though warm states don't have 4 seasons, they still follow the same earth cycle. When the northern states get winter, the warm states get cooler, rainy weather. But that's their version of winter. And when the northern states get spring, the warm states hit their rainy season, which is their version of rebirth. Different cycles, different climates, same cycle. Just to sum it up. Okay? Just know that. But New Year is literally the same all over the fucking world. Around April. or whatever April is in other parts of the world, because I don't really know. All right, let's move on. Goodness. Okay. Now, this is a special edition here, and I want to talk about Kendrick Johnson. It seems that, no, I'm not a school teacher. I should be, huh? I should be. I'm just a public speaker. All right, so let me just talk about this. I believe I talked about this in one of my videos. I don't remember which one it was, but anyway. All right, so here we are. Special edition true crime, which I'm going to throw in some of my live shows. Not all the time. I'm just going to throw it in there. All right, so before I wrap up today's show, I want to take a moment for something serious. This is our true crime spotlight. Okay? Where we shine light on cases that deserve more attention, more questions, and more justice. Tonight, we're talking about, well, this is supposed to be the night show. I'm reading my script here. Today, we're going to talk about Kendrick Johnson. Okay? January 2013, Valdosta, Georgia, 17-year-old Kendrick Johnson was found rolled up inside a gym mat at his high school. Authorities called it a freak accident. Said he fell in while reaching for a shoe. Seriously, that's what we're saying? He fell in while reaching for a shoe? Okay. But nothing about this case adds up. Let's be realistic here. Nothing. Nada. His body showed unexplained injuries. Yeah. His body showed unexplained injuries. His organs were removed and replaced with newspaper. Surveillance footage had missing top, well, not about to say top places, but basically it had missing time gaps. So the footage was definitely edited and tampered with. The case has been reopened multiple times, still no clear answers. So true, so true. Oh, thank you. Definitely. Okay, so Kendrick family has been fighting for the truth for over a decade. Hey, Tanisha, what kind of, no, hold on just a second. Hey, Tanisha, what kind of phone do you have? Do you have a track phone too? Do you have a newer model phone, or do you have an old phone like Indra? You have oh goodness. You have iPhone 15? Okay, so your phone is about 3 years old. That's not that old. But I wonder if that makes a difference, though. Interesting. We touch on that later. I don't want to ruin this young man's spotlight. Okay, so the fact that this case is still unresolved says a lot about how quickly Black children's deaths get dismissed. So this is how he was after everything set in and stuff like that. This is how his face was. Yes, this is how his face was. I was going to say more, but I think this is enough. You see how his face looked? And they claimed it was no foul play. His eyes were swollen. His lips was cracked and burst. Jaw swollen. They beat this young man to a bloody pulp. So he definitely was fighting back. There was blood. Yes. Sad. This is how he originally looked. And this is how he ended up looking. And he had no organs. Okay. They're claiming that here's a little reenactment right here. Let's take a listen to this and then we'll talk a little bit more, okay?
In January 2013, 17-year-old Kendrick Johnson walked into his high school gym in Georgia and never walked out. Hours later, his body was discovered, rolled up inside a vertical wrestling mat upside down, his face swollen beyond recognition. Authorities quickly ruled it an accident, claiming Kendrick had fallen headfirst into the mat while trying to retrieve a shoe. They said he got stuck and suffocated, but the evidence told a different story. Kendrick's body showed signs of blunt force trauma, injuries too severe to be explained away by a simple fall. His internal organs had mysteriously been removed and replaced with newspaper before the second autopsy, something the funeral home blamed on standard practice, but many believed it was an attempt to hide the truth. And then there was the missing footage. Hours of security camera recordings inside the gym, gone. The official story? The cameras were out of sync. But to Kendrick's family, it sounded like something much worse, a cover-up. Over the years, lawsuits were filed, investigations reopened, and rumors swirled. Some said Kendrick had gotten into a fight with students connected to powerful families, and that what happened inside the gym was no accident. Despite the evidence, despite the outrage, no one has ever been charged in Kendrick Johnson's death. And today, the case remains one of the most haunting and suspicious unsolved deaths in recent American history. Because Kendrick Johnson didn't just fall into the mat, he was hidden inside it.
Yep, it's been going on, 13 years? It's going on 13 years and it's still unresolved. That is so sad.
The body of a high school boy was discovered inside a rolled-up gym mat. Now, authorities initially ruled his death as accidental, suggesting that he fell into the mat head first while reaching for a shoe and suffocated due to the position. But his family didn't believe this story and requested a second autopsy. This revealed blunt force trauma to the boy's neck, leading to suspicions of foul play. But despite numerous investigations, the case remains unresolved and many questions linger.
Okay, here is my theory of this alleged fall here. First of all, this isn't just a mystery. Now, let me see if I can find. Hold on, let's just do it right. I need an actual shot here. Here we go. We'll do that. This is good. Okay. And then, okay, here we go. First of all, this didn't fucking happen. So anyway, so let's just say this. Okay, this isn't just a mystery. It's a reminder of how easily a life can be overlooked when the world decides it's not worth investigating. And even if you heard this case before, it deserves to be heard. That's why we're talking about this. This is why I'm calling this True Crime Spotlight. So please say his name. Please say his name. But let me just say this here. First of all, he was beaten up. Let's be realistic here. This young man was beaten up. He was beaten up to a bloody freaking pulp. Okay? That's what he was. And after they beat him up, they rolled him up in a horizontal mat. It was not vertical. Upon him getting into that mat, it was horizontal on the floor. They rolled him up, and then they set it upright in a vertical standpoint, and then they walked their ass out. For someone to have that kind of power, they had to have connections with the security team, the principal, and law enforcement. Okay, which means someone was paying someone, which means this young boy was either targeted for his organs in the initially first place, and that day was the day he was going to do it. This was a premeditated murder planned to get this young boy freaking organs. They had security paid off and set. They had the principal set and pretty much paid off. They had the funeral home, who is wondering and running at the same time. I combined the two. Who is probably running an underground organs harvesting just to stay afloat. I guarantee you, the funeral home and a pathologist, which means the coroner's office, all working together. So you had the school, you had the security team, you had a couple of stupid fucking officers, and you had the coroner/pathologist, and you had the funeral home all working together. And they are making millions of organs harvesting. This young boy was freaking targeted for his organs in the first place. You know how much you can get for a 17-year-old liver and a heart and a kidney? You can get so much fucking money. I'm talking about thousands and thousands of dollars. He was targeted. He did fight back. So they beat his ass, rolled him up in that mat, and they waited until they found out. They let the family have their little funeral services, making sure no one was, had the coroner check it the first time, make sure they dotted all their I's and T's. But when the second autopsy came, they were not looking for that second autopsy. And that's when it was like, oh, fuck. We're exposed, which means they've been doing this for a definitely long time, which means generally families don't ask for second autopsy. They only ask for one. They were not looking forward to that second autopsy. They thought it was just going to be one. They probably did this so freaking long. They've probably been running the under freaking ground and secret organs harvesting for a long time. So if I was the cops, I would definitely find out who was working. So I'd definitely speak to the principal of that school, the security team of that school. I'd speak to the funeral home, the coroner's office. Oh, yeah, definitely. Those are the primary people I speak to. I investigate their financial records, their phone records, if they had a track phone, their regular phone if they have it, because it's hard to trace track phone, but you can definitely do something. I would definitely do that. And I guarantee they will find out and expose that these groups of people, the funeral home, the principal, who didn't want a big scandal of a young black boy getting beaten to death in their school, didn't want to get fired, didn't want to have charges, didn't want to get exposed. Who the fuck knows? He can fuck about this black person. And then I definitely speak to the coroner's office, who probably is running some kind of deal with the funeral home to sell organs so he can stay afloat. And all it takes is if some rich person like, look, give me his heart. I need his kidney. I give you $100,000 if you're able to do this. Okay, I'm gonna have to work out some deal with the school and the security team, and I can make this happen. And then stupid broke ass security team, you give them $5,000, $10,000, they'll do any fucking thing, even if it means destroying video evidence. Money talks. Money talks. So if I was them, considering hearts have to be transported, they should be connecting any emergency flights following that first autopsy, see if there was any emergency flights that flew out, or see if there was emergency surgeries that so happened conveniently, surprisingly, got an organ. There are definitely footsteps, breadcrumbs they can follow. But the problem with these cops and detectives and federal investigators, they're lazy and they don't give two shits about black kids. They don't fucking care, because if they did, they will probably have a huge break in their career and be exposing the biggest underground organs harvesting that's been going on for over 50, 60 years. This case going unsolved show how lazy and how money can make silence and make people not talk. He did not reach in for anything. He was targeted. This is a premeditated murder. He was sought out for his organs, point blank simple. First place they should definitely go is the funeral home. And then go to the coroner office. Go to both of them. See if this is a trend. Do that. They connect the dots. But are they going to do that? Nope, they don't care. Especially in the heights of liberty and for these racist fools to live their old time fantasies of being racist fuckers. They're not gonna do a damn thing at all. But let me leave this to my brainwashed people. This is just, something you guys should know. So as you can see, they claim he did this. Okay, if he did this, which I doubt he did, if he did this, he would probably have a head injury. That's it. He would definitely have a head injury. But why would he do that? That's stupid. And how his shoes get in there in the first place? This is the most stupidest reason. And cops, whoever came to this scene, were just lazy as fuck. And they didn't care. If they didn't have anything to do with it, they were just being lazy. Another black kid dead. Who fuck cares? They need to get freaking audited too. See, how many times did they go to scenes like this and declared it, okay, it's just an accident? How many things, and who are the race of these scenes that they so-called went to and declared it an accident? Audit their work. And if it looks like a trend, they need to be fired. They don't want me to be a boss. I'll be the most micromanaging fucking boss. You will not able to do anything that's stupid ever. This is ridiculous. This is stupid. How did this young man's face get like this? How? If anything, he should just have a head injury. This young man fought for his life. They beat him up, put him in that mat, rolled him up, tracked the family, found out where his body was, probably had a deal with the pathologist, which is the coroner's office, paid him some buku of money, probably been doing it for years. This coroner probably done fucking harvested so many goddamn organs. He should be floating on mad cash right now. Check his bank accounts. Did he have a sudden deposit during that time? Do he have some off-C accounts? Very easy to do. Just saying. But are they doing that? No, because that means they have to actually work. And this is a black kid. They don't care. Who fucking cares? They don't fucking care. Who cares? Who cares? Just another black kid they don't have to worry about. That's literally how they treat this whole situation. I can't deal with these stupid people. Okay, so they are saying that he fell in. Bullshit, 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 bullshit. Someone should really reopen this case because I think it's really easy solvable. And if I was the parents of this poor young man, I would put a curse on whoever had my child organs for it to fail and for they to freaking die. Seriously. How dare you take my child organs? Put a curse on your son's organs. Do that. You have the power to do that. Go ahead and do that. And let them know the reason why you put in a curse so they know. So they can be constantly hunted by your son's face or whatever organs they fucking took. Put that curse on there. I guarantee they'll start singing like a canary. Okay. And matter of fact, and let the bloodline of those organs also reap the freaking repercussions of what the foolish and disgusting and deviant and malevolent thing that this fucker has did to get these goddamn organs. Put a curse on the bloodline from these organs too. Do that. So motive freaking B. Get dark. They want to get dark. They're killing people for organs. Do that. And this is really freaking sad. I'm really upset about this. This is so fucking sad. Woo, I need a moment. All right. I'm good now. Okay, moving right on here. So this is what he was looking like. And they say he just fell head first into the mat. Make it make sense. He went in looking like a gorgeous young man. This is what he ended up like. This young man was beaten to a bloody pulp by a racist sack of shit. Yeah. Like an Emmett Till. This is bullshit. Now, I'm going to leave you guys with this quick word and I'm going to head out. And I'll speak to you guys next week. Okay. Back focus, you guys. And this will be a literally interlude to my next show. Okay. And don't worry, I'll post the clear clarification of the 4 seasons or in New York and all that stuff. So people who keep asking, well, it don't get winter in my state. I don't know how this April thing can, work for us. I'll post that little short video on my social media feed so they'll, be, less confused. Okay, so let me leave this for my so-called brainwashed Christians who think they know what's best by saying to me, oh, look at you, you're struggling, your channels are hacked and so on. You only got, these many viewers and subscribers. Oh my gosh, how you see? That's because you stopped believing in God or Jesus. You're an evil person. I get that call. I get called that all the time. I get Jehovah's Witnesses coming to my house. I be loving when they come to my house because they are some really stupid people. No offense. They sound like brainwashed people. Jesus is the way, he will follow. He was stinging. Like, I be thinking, do you have any idea how ignorant you sound? So you have no power. It's always up to the man. You do know Christianity was forced upon our people. They forced our people to do this. And the more you praise this invisible person, I'm not saying Yeshua is invisible. The more you praise this person, the more powerful they get. This is for their power. This is for their benefit, not our benefit. But I also said this, really, because I was going through hell and oblivious to all of the hell for years. It wasn't until I broke out of the spell where I noticed the hell that I was going through, and the false family and friends that so-called supported me, but with some really deviant, malevolent fuckers. It wasn't until I got out of that spell where I was able to see all of these people clearly. So if you're looking down on me because you are in a better financial state than me, okay, yeah, you are in a better financial state than me. You should, yeah, okay, for now. But my ending will be far more greater than yours. Because your ending is not going to be so nice. All you Christians are thinking you high and mighty at this point, telling you this time, 5 years from now, hell, this time and 2 years from now, you are going to regret looking down upon free spiritual people who are believing in themselves and not in the vindictive, genocidal, fictitious, invisible man. They believe that they have the power within themselves to make anything happen, to make anything manifest, is what Yeshua was preaching before they lynched him. He said, it's in you. It's not below, it's not above, it's in you. The kingdom of heaven is in you. You can reach Christ-like consciousness yourself. Not in man, in you. Until you get that into your freaking brain, you are going to be consistently brainwashed by the system who killed you. You mean to tell me all these years you praising this Jesus or God, and he didn't stop slavery? He didn't stop the trafficking of your kids? He didn't stop the raping of your babies and treating your babies as alligator food, or forcing them to swim, or putting them in little fences and barricades and treat them like sideshows for carnivals? He didn't stop all of that suffering over and over again. The flooding of your villages, the Tartarian Moor civilization being completely freaking destroyed. Everything that we progressed, they destroyed it. If we become too advanced in our own little culture, they destroy it. Our villages are underwater, underground, burnt. But you mean to tell me all they have to do is continue praying as Jesus and God all these years, and what, suddenly he's going to have an epiphany like, damn, I forgot about the Black people. I forgot about the Hispanic people. No. You stop praising the Jesus and God that make you praise. Maybe something would happen, just like when they weren't doing it. Look how advanced they did, because they believed in themselves. They didn't believe in some fictitious God. They believed in themselves, and look how far they got. Think. But you know what? That's a whole nother subject, a whole nother live show. But I'm just going to leave you with this video, and then I'm out.
As Christians, we don't speak to our ancestors. Those are demons.
Yeah, and that's why that shit don't work out for y'all. Y'all do realize that, right? Because instead of praying to your actual Black ancestors, you poured all of your power and energy into a white demonic spirit.
Say it.
Oh, I'm prepared to die on this hill. Like, why don't y'all see Black angels in these churches? Why do you think white people don't have to pray and shout and stomp their feet as hard as the rest of us do when they pray to their God? Like, hard facts, y'all gave all of your energy to the wrong entity. And that's why y'all still suffering under the name of Christ. And then let's get it straight. Y'all quote things calling it scripture, and it's not even in the Bible anyway. You swear that homosexuality is in there, but it's not. You swear that somewhere somebody said to spare a rod and spoil a child, and it's not. Like, y'all don't even know enough about what you're praying into to even be talking about anybody else's spirituality. And I hope you have the same energy on Easter when y'all pray to that zombie that resurrected itself out of that cave. Because it's very strange to me that this is not seen as demonic while y'all drink their blood and eat their flesh and give them tithes and offerings at an altar in a church, but find issue with what Summer Walker and other Black people do. Like, this is why Christianity is so unsufferable and why so many people are sick and tired of y'all shit. Because y'all can't even mind the business that you pray to. Y'all gotta come over to everybody else and find issue with them. Meanwhile, you're only doing a white variation of what the fuck everybody else is doing. Basically. And you're too ignorant to notice.
And look who's benefiting
Y'all
from
don't want
it.
to admit that the reason why white people are seen as angels and black people are seen as ancestors is because they don't want you praying to black people. They don't want you praying to an entity or a being that looks like you. And mind you, we are one of the few groups of people that pray to entities that don't look like us. Please understand the political power, socioeconomic power that white people have gotten in this world is nowhere near as powerful as the spiritual power that we have given them. But y'all want to die on this hill for white Jesus? Y'all go right ahead. This is why Harriet carried a gun and why a lot of y'all cannot be saved. Good day.
Girl, I have to give her a hand clap. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. She is. Stop being ignorant, folks. Stop being ignorant. Please wake up. Please wake up. Please. Thank you for following me. Yes. And yes, it was definitely forced upon us. In my next live show, I'll more than likely go a little deeper in Christianity. Sorry for the technical glitches throughout this live show. I was trying to do some things, but whatever. Anyways, you guys have a wonderful day. I'll speak to you guys next week. Bye. Buenas tardes. That means good afternoon in Spanish. Okay, have a good day. Bye.
We see you. We see you. We remember. We remember. I am the storm. I am the storm. I am the silence. I am the silence. I am the truth unveiled. I am the truth unveiled.
You are seen. You are seen.